Hello everybody, Dullahan here with another Dawn of War 3 shoutcast. And today we got a match between Skynet playing Space Marines on Karen's Rest in the southwest corner, and myself, Dullahan, playing Orcs in the northeast corner. So for Mr. Skynet here, we got triple tac doctrines, we got grenades, fire on the move, and tireless. We got Death Watch with his presence ability, Gabriel with his presence, and then Terminators with their presence. That gives Devastators no setup time. Whereas for myself, we have Gorgutz, taunt truck launch, healing scrap, and smoke shells on the big truck. We got Gorgutz, healing wog, mad Dredd, presence, Gorgutz presence. So I got a lot of bonuses for wog, theoretically, if I got my entire arsenal out. So just open builders. We got a power gen for both players at the start. Mine's on the middle of the map, his is on top. So this is kind of a risky play from me here, trying to claim this south area of the map. East side of the map, I should say. And we got two tac squads, maybe one tac squad in a drop pod and one on the field. And a couple servitors coming to meet these boys and Gretchens in the field. So this power generator's been pressured. We got drop pod and setter coming in. So coming in early, quite heavily to this early engagement here. We got just one boy squad here, second boy squad coming in here. We got the log tower being finished to support. Gretchen signed up the tacs over here. So boys do have the advantage here, since I do have the standard decapped. This is a dude kill the servitor. These grenades do a decent amount of damage, but ultimately, as long as I keep this standard decap, this fight's easily in my favor. Activated wog here. Didn't really need this. I think I just did this just to scare him off here. So as long as I keep this standard decapped here, I pretty much have this fight in the bag here. He does get the shield. He does get the standard there, but I do manage to channel my shout over here. Meanwhile, he's got a second power gen coming up over here, and I got a second one up here as well. So both going for a heavy power early on. We got a Daka Hut coming up for me. Mainly for Lootas. No barracks or Doctrine Trample just yet for Space Marines. So far map control's kind of going in my favor here. We got the middle points being captured, as well as only really these points for Space Marines. He has no in-the-field reinforcement, whereas I can reinforce right up here, so he's going to need that. He's just moving these tacs down this flank here, probably get the high ground to try and kill his power generator. We can also use his scrap from this drop pod, which is another advantage. We do have a Doctrine Chapel coming up here on this southeast corner. Stealing these bubbles is very important with your Gretchens, because Space Marines go for these tech-heavy builds don't have any way of getting inside of there. They don't have Assault Marines. Or Flamers. They could get Flamers, but that requires an armory and quite a heavy investment. So he's just holding his high ground, not pushing it. He does kill the power generator. We got a Wreck Generator coming up over here, and a Elite Point Generator coming up in the middle. I like those Elite Point Generators early, and just because they're not terribly expensive. Normally I wait a bit longer to get it. I usually get a second wall tower first, but because of the map control situation here, I want Gorgutz earlier on. So this shaves probably about a minute. We'll see when I actually get Gorgutz out, but I'm pretty sure it shaves about a minute and a half, and that makes a big difference. So just killing this servitor with this boys squad, defending with this Luda squad and this boys. Gretchen's get in line of sight. This Luda can easily defend against 3 tacs, no problemo. Just gotta worry about the servitor. Just focus the servitor down. These tacs cannot engage on this. So against like tac-heavy builds, Ludas are just extremely powerful. The only real option for Space Marines here is just to commit 3 or 4 servitors. And once you start getting 2 or 3 Ludas out, it's not gonna work at all for them. So I kind of really like this opening versus Shootas, where Shootas are still pretty good against tacs. Very cost effective. But I find Ludas are better against groups of tacs, because they do that AoE slow and damage. So he's got a 4th tac out for Skynet. Nothing else so far. Lots of power, so he could go tier 2 right away here, which I suspect he will do. Death Watch is ready to come in. Yeah, we got tier 2 going up for Skynet. In terms of tech level, we're just 1 wog tower for me. Second one probably coming up soon, I believe. So we got second Luda squad coming up. So we're going to have 2 boys, 2 Ludas. And that's going to be a pretty dangerous force. We got the Elite Point Generator ticking away in the background here. We got the second wog tower coming up here in this forward position. So very quickly locking down a good chunk of the map, while Skynet is fast taking on a pretty light power build. No power, actually. We got a Wreck Gen coming up as well to support these attacks. But again, his reinforcement is over here. So he has no infield reinforcement, really. The only reinforcement he has on this side of the map is the Stronghold. So that's pretty long walk to reinforce. And we're probably going to have a war truck relatively soon as well. A pile of guns coming up in the base, of course. I like my early pile of guns. And we got these tacs over here just kind of pushing this. But my forces here able to do some harassment over here. So that's gonna pull him away, and holding this bubble means he can't get past this. This Luta is basically invincible as long as it's in there. And we do got the Deathwatch jumping in here on these boys. He's gonna stall this shield jam, but you can see the Deathwatch actually can't win this fight. You just stay in melee with these boys, and he'll just die. And then the Lutas will kill him if the shield goes down. So we got this Luta's gonna sit in this bubble and easily defend this. This Tac Spam's gonna have to run away. These boys are gonna double back into this wog bonus and circle around now that he's committing his forces to come back this way. Very easy rotation. You can get away with a lot of stuff when your orcs can move real fast. So this, you can see how much damage the Tac Spam's just taken from that one Luta squad with wog. That Tac Spam's basically dead. So just easily picking out the squad while his units have rotated over here to defend. Using this as a mobility, controlling this area is very nice. We're going to get some line of sight with these Gretchens on this eco up here. Going to kill these generators, no problemo. This Luta squad positioned defensively here too. So these guys can just walk back. We got damage 1 coming first. We do got a little bit of an annoying back cap over here. And yeah, this Luta squad taking out these generators, no problemo. Not really focusing them properly right now though. So I think the generators will survive. This Luta squad's going to pull out here. We got another Luta. So third Luta coming out over here, and another wog coming off over here. So these units are going to pull back this way, get that wog bonus, and go attack probably down here or over here. And his army is so slow and unable to defend. It's just back here. We got a war truck coming, and we're going to have the reinforcement coming pretty soon after that. So this is a strong opening for orcs, I find, against this kind of Space Marine meta playstyle, where you just get lots of attacks, because especially on a map like this, where these heavy cover bubbles are in such a awesome positioning that it's really difficult for Space Marines to do much about this with this kind of army comp. He doesn't have the mobility to really deal with me being all over the map with WOG. So we got infantry damage, probably going to get this reinforced soon. We're almost at that point, by the way. Gorgutz is available at 7 minutes here. So yeah, shaved a minute off of Gorgutz's time getting that Liquid generator early. Gorgutz coming out right now. Again, Gorgutz can counter all of this, no problemo. So, you know, he's going to throw these grenades in here. They're going to be a little deadly, but just going to get in the truck. Gorgutz is going to come in somewhere. And then, yeah. And once the reinforcement comes up, reinforcement research right now. These Lutas are in position to support as well. So we're going to launch these guys onto the high ground, and Gorgutz is going to join the fray pretty soon here too. And also decapping the standard with the boys. Gorgutz is coming up here. This truck is going to go sit on the standard, I believe. And then we're going to keep these guys all reinforced, topped off once this upgrade finishes. The Spinning Claw is also going to destroy the Doctrine Shrapnel along with the Lutas. So Deathwatch does have his Flamer, but you can just absorb so much damage. We do have tier 2 for Skynet though. So this is an updated standard. I believe he does have a, what's it called, a Death Storm in the bay here. But we can see these Lutas are just so devastating. And we're able to just pick off these Tac Marines. So Tac Spam is not very good against this kind of playstyle from orcs. And reinforcing in the field. So that's about it. We don't have any more walk towers coming up, I don't think, right now. Pile Gans is just chipping away. We're probably gonna get longer wogs soon. And we do have the Death Storm building right now. So he has 4 attacks and a Death Storm and a Death Watch. We're gonna pressure the shield gen as well. And you can see this Lutas just do so much damage to cover this entire area. You can't even really defend this because Gorgutz is here. Gorgutz is very good at clearing out the shield bubble. And the shield gen is definitely screwed. We got Death Watch dropping in behind, using the recall. This is pretty brave because he can't really escape now that he's in this position. And Gorgutz is smartly just going to time up. We do got the Death Storm coming in here. So that's going to be really dangerous. The boys were going to get trapped and go fight somewhere else, but because of this Death Storm, they got to pull back and support. This Death Storm is pretty devastating. And you see how fast he takes on the red bar underneath Gorgutz's shield here. This is a bit brave of me trying to set up right next to the Death Storm like this. But it does kind of help out a little bit. But probably should have just walked away. But these Lutas are going to be mostly fine. They're going to take some damage, take some losses. But the eco is there, the refund is there. We've got more power gens up here. We got a lot of resources up here still for Skynet. That could be harassed here. But we got the boys using their boy shot here, going to get the shields and bonus damage there. So they're very deadly over here. And Gorgutz also has his healing claw ready, so he could use that. These Tac Squats just take a ton of damage up close. Deathwatch is not really doing the AoE damage he needs to do on these boys because he's so far back. And you see, just always put in scrap on these units as soon as possible. I think we have a third log tower coming up soon. Nope. No third walk tower. But this elite point generator is still just chipping away in the background here. So we're going to start to see a big difference in elite points as the game goes on. And Gorgutz came out a minute earlier. We can definitely see the Dredd come out a lot earlier as well, especially as we damage these objectives like the shield generator, get elite points that way. That's the other thing, is if you're playing a very aggressive playstyle where you're killing these shield generators, getting those mid-game elites is way stronger than just getting your 3 or 4 point elites earlier, in my opinion. Also, bringing Gorgutz back to the stronghold to heal. He has a lot of health in it. It will take a long time to heal. It's 4 times faster at the stronghold, so just take advantage of that. Again, another wild push in here. Probably going to go harass on this side of the map. Now his army's all over here. Can also harass this shield generator. And actually is whiffing that a little bit on those boy squads in the truck. Probably gonna see another walk tower get built up over here. There we go. That's the third walk tower. So this nice walk tower spread. A lot of players like to build them all close, clustered around their production. But if you spread them out, you could get a lot of mobility and visibility. You see, he almost always has to come up on this ledge. And using Wog again over here, not entirely necessary. We do got Longo Wog. We do have upgrades. Second bio guns also chipping away at upgrades. Gorgutz is healing. So I got a ton more upgrades. No arsenal at all. So these Tac Marines are like default, right? So hopefully I don't actually run out of the radius here with these squads. Okay, yeah, they do run back in just in time to get the bonus. And we're going to engage up here. These Tac squads are just not going to do very well against this kind of composition. Even if he has a Death Storm in the bay, which I'm not sure if he does at this point. He has a lot of power. See, all this power could be spent on upgrades to get flamers, infantry upgrades, all that stuff. It's just going to exponentially boost your damage. Instead of going up top, actually going down here and going to destroy all this stuff. Gorgutz alone is enough to deal with this. Spinning Claw... If you don't have any disruption or anti-vehicle damage, like you have this kind of comp, he can just walk in here and just do tons of damage to all these units, and they can't do anything about it. You can see that Claw's almost about half health right now, but if the Death Watch doesn't have the missile launcher, it is a bit easier to do this. But these grenades just get absorbed, and the Claw does go off there, doing the heal, and Gorgutz can just tie up all this stuff. Meanwhile, the boys are coming in on the flank. The Lootas are on the flank as well. So we do got Gabriel coming in, and Gabriel's pretty tough. So he's going to help a lot in this kind of situation with his AoE disruption, and he's going to also help a lot against the truck. Now, we can have the standard coming in. Standard is coming in. Lootas are going to low tier forward. Death Watch dropping in. So a lot of stuff dropping in on this truck is going to do a ton of damage to it, but it's still reinforcing all these units right now. And the standard is decapped, just stunning units by launching them out of the truck. Lootas are set up here as well, so they're just going to start doing a ton of AoE damage. Lootas do damage in a line, so if you shoot at the target farther away, you'll do more damage to everything in between. But now that the truck is down and losing the reinforcement, there's just... Gabriel is just too much right now for this small force, so they're just going to pull back. We've got tank busters coming up now that the third log tower is up, so that's going to help pressure the shield gens. We've got more upgrades coming. You can see Skynet is just still sitting on so much power. He's not tier 3 yet, but he has so much power, and it's not being used for anything. It's just building Tac Marines. And with Death Storm right on all this production, so this is going to be really bad for this Wog Tower and for this Daka Hut. Probably should be focusing the Death Storm with the Tank Busters and the Spinning Claw, but I don't know. Usually you need probably 2 or 3 Tank Busters to really take it out. Also, to note, if the Death Watch grenade hits Gorgut's Claw, it doesn't do the debuff. Same if you're in the shield gen. Even though you're in the radius, it doesn't do the debuff. So we're going to see these units kind of pull back to kind of a safer position. It's a bit too much with Gabriel here. Gabriel's pretty tough to deal with just this kind of army comp. You really need some heavy hitting stuff. And this Daka Hut's going to go down, so immediately replacing it up here. And this shield gen is heavily pressured by Skynet's little blob here. But Skynet doesn't have a lot to follow us up. This is the third Doctrine Chapel going down in the same spot. So he's going to try and get the Doctrine Chapel up, probably get some Devastators up. And he's teching to tier 3. So go straight to tier 3 is kind of an interesting choice. Really, I think you needed to just focus on tier 2 a bit. Get some Land Speeders out, or Whirlwind. Whirlwind is pretty devastating against Orcs, especially against my playstyle where it's kind of sloppy attack move stuff, just for lots of bonuses. But this is pretty scary right now. We do have Epic Death Watch with Missile Launcher, so Gabriel and Death Watch are going to be able to kill this shield generator pretty quickly. Just got a defensive Wog Tower in the base just to get some coverage in the base, because these ones are all out here. Yeah, we do have tier 3 coming up here. So, looking at the elite points just for 1 second here, right? So we got 1 shield gen down for Skynet. So he has 2 points right now, and he spent 6. And I spent 4 and I got 5. And I didn't kill a shield gen yet, right? So that's the difference that elite point generator has made. It did get sent somewhere at one point, but that difference there, right? I just have 9 elite points total. He has, 8. and he killed a shield gen. I didn't kill shield gen yet, so he got a free point. So I'm about 2 points ahead of him, give or take. So we're gonna go engage here. I don't know, using the spinning claw early with Gorgutz, kind of a weird choice, honestly. I didn't really keep my units. And Death Storm is ready, so these Death Storms are actually pretty annoying to deal with. But ultimately, it'll be fine. Dodging all those grenades and the debuff, so it's going to be fine that way. He's going to mass recall there, I think. But Gabriel getting up close like this is pretty devastating. He just does so much AoE knockdown. So just going to pull back and wait till we have more units, I think, is a wise decision there. Dr. Chapel's up, so we start seeing some las cannons coming out here. Las cannons are pretty good against Gorgutz Claw and Knobs, but against my infantry playstyle, you know, they're you need them, but they're not the kind of unit you want to spam, which I think is what a lot of Space Marine players do. And the other thing, as I'll show this a bit later on, you want to make sure you're disrupting. I've done a tip of the week on this, but las cannons build up damage over time, and then they start doing way more DPS. So if you can keep them knocked down or stunned, you'll reset their damage buildup. So it's always a good idea to just keep them disrupted, reset it constantly, because if you don't reset it, they can just build it up and change targets. They did buff the rate that it builds up a while ago, and that actually made las cannons. Honestly, it's a little broken compared to like Shadow Spectres, because Shadow Spectres have to lock onto their target. So just using Wagner for mobility here and just to push his army into the middle of the map, probably go for the shield gen here. And this army's way over here. There's no way they can defend us. They just can't get there in time. And his Orc army is just too strong to really try and defend it. Just put a Luta in this bubble and he can't really do much about it. Gabriel is the only thing that can counter the Lutas and the bubbles. So by the time his army mobilizes to come over here, this shield gen is going to get nuked. But the tank bomb squigs are very good against shield gens. They do like a huge chunk of damage. So as long as you use those, see, he's coming up in the middle here. This big blob here, but you can see elite point wise here we're at 6. So Madred is about 2. Madred is coming out now that we got that shield gen actually. So Madred's going to appear in the smoke here. So Skynet can actually see this happening here. And Gorgutz using his spinning claw just do a ton of AoE damage, knock all that stuff down. Madred's going to teleport in here as well and knock everything down. And he's going to do tons of AoE damage to all these units here. And we're going to have that Death Storm drop in over here, so we're just going to focus this with Gorgutz and the Madred and the tank pressers. And this will die real quick. It's going to be ineffective. This tower does go down. Gorgutz is going to have to get out of here pretty soon here, actually. Not actually focusing the Death Storm, just put a mistake there. But Madred doesn't have to care about any of this. You got the las cannons, see that red bar, that's how much damage they're doing. So they're doing 65 DPS right now. That's significant, but if you knock them down, it's not so significant. They're focused on the wrong target anyway. We got log bonus going to come off here too, and Gabriel's going to... Madred does. You can see 107 is going to turn into 160 DPS. That's pretty crazy. Madred's going to do a ton of damage here, and he's going to just tunnel up here, knock all this stuff down. You see his Devastators get knocked down, it resets their damage back down to... I think they lost a model, but I think it's 22, so they do 3 times the damage as that builds up. You see how fast that builds up, though. It builds up way too fast, honestly, for how long it takes to wear off on its own. But if you just keep them tied up in melee or knocked down or something, that bonus will get reset pretty quick. So we did see Gabriel did manage to escape. Gorgutz also went back to base to heal. But all these units, the Madred alone is able to take on almost all these units. And this Death Storm is just really annoying back here, but ultimately not that devastating just because of how much more money I have. Well, I guess I don't have that much more money, but you know, my playstyle is certainly stronger. We got a Machine Cult. This is a pretty bad positioning for a Machine Cult, but we do got a Dreadnought coming in the drop pod here. So we're going to have a bit of a rebuild for these Orc units. Going to heal everything up and just re-engage. We've got some more boys. We've got some more everything. We've got Death Copters. We've got a Mech Shop coming out with some Death Copters. Just try and get some harassment potential on this sort of stuff. The Elite Point Generator is going to get destroyed again, but I think it's more than paid for itself, I would say. We got a barracks coming up in the middle of the map here, so that's going to give access to other units like ASMs, which would be a good choice against this kind of comp. I'd probably get ASMs and Power Swords or something. We're going to see the Def Cop to go over to here to harass here. So that's going to be really hard for this to deal with. They're just Def Cop can easily wipe this out. There's no listening post to defend this. More and more las cannons. So you're seeing this crazy las cannon spam, right? We got 3 las cannons, 4 las cannons, and we're going to see Death Watch actually gets dropped down to defend this from the Def Copter here. Oddly enough. So I guess the Orc army building the walk tower from the scrap pile, that saves you about half the money. So that saves you quite a bit. Especially if, like, you can only do that once you get a mech shop. So you need to build at least 3 walk towers normally and a mech shop. but it's actually still cheaper to do that and then build them from that than to build them normally without the mech shop. Not much, it's still cheaper. And it's also faster, which is the big thing. So we're going to see this pressure here on this WOG tower being destroyed, this generator being destroyed, but this Orc army is going to push in and be very deadly. Mad Dread's just coming up here. So we're using that Mad Dread tunnel ability to Ravener Alpha my units over here. Although, yeah, they can just crawl through the tunnel, get into the range. They don't even need to. The shield gen is down, so that's another shield gen down. That's a lot of money. Dreadnought dropping in here. This is really risky, because if I just attacked him, he would die. But puts pulling back to get a better position to fight this army. I'm not too concerned about the Dreadnought, honestly, because Mad Dread can easily eat them for breakfast. So we got Gorgutz jumping in here. Gabriel's getting tied up in melee. Mad Dread getting on the other side, all these Devastators, tying them up in melee. And Gorgutz using the Spinning Claw just to annoy these attacks, blocking all these grenades. Grenades cannot do anything. Pulling them in, and then using the Mad Dread ability, just keep these guys all knocked down, keep knocking in all this army. So we got the Dreadnought coming in here, being pretty annoying, but at the same time, between the Mad Dread and Gorgutz, there's not much. You can see this WOG bonus is still going, by the way. That's the longer WOG in action. That was from whenever I attacked this shield gen and tunneled it over. I haven't used WOG since. It's still going. So this lasted a really long time. Bonus finally wearing off, but the damage is done. And then we got this Dreadnought kind of just taking a ton of damage. These units just pulled back here. We got another WOG bonus coming up here. All these new units being built still. Always building units. So you can see how much power Skynet has here. He has all this power, but he has no money because he has all these requisition-heavy units. Mad Dread, also the teleport, able to mine up here, keep these units constantly knocked down and disrupted. Does a little bit of damage. It's not crazy high damage. This Death Storm not too intimidating for Mad Dread. Mad Dread also heals when he picks up scrap. So he's able just to heal, pick up scrap using rocks instead of getting the Gorgutz just to basically counter this army. Mad Dread's going to pick up the rocks and just run at these attack marines. And they're going to have a really hard time dealing with this. Gorgutz is going to try and stop them from capturing the bubble here. And this is pretty much going to be the end of it for all these units. Although Gorgutz alone is just killing them. The rocks does a lot of damage even without the final bomb part. So that's part of why they took so much damage. So basically Skynet has lost all his attacks at this point. He has this one Dreadnought. That's all he has left. And Gabriel. No, Gabriel's dead, so he's just Death Watch. So pretty small army. It looks like Skynet's going to lose this at this point. Just lost too much. His Dreadnought's too little too late, but you can see all this power versus the upgrades I have here, right? I've got 2 power guns, I got infantry damage 2 and health 2, and I got longer WOG, reinforcement, and call the boys shout. So these guys will actually reinforce every time they use shout. Mad Dread is also perfectly capable of soloing a turret like this. So we got Terminators coming in, we got Predator Annihilator coming in. These will be kind of counters to the Mad Dread. Terminators are a little too late. You need to get some Devastator support this, but the eco just isn't there at this point. It's phase 3 at this point, I believe. So, yeah, we got the Mad Dread. Mad Dread's gonna wipe out this turret, no problemo. And, yeah, you can just see this stuff's all gonna get killed now as well. Losing that Doctor Chapel, and Gorgutz is just gonna pull up. Mad Dread can be really aggressive because he can tunnel out, and even if he takes damage, he can also stay alive just by doing more damage. But he can just tunnel out, get out of here, building a WOG tower here, just to posture, and then all this stuff's gonna get taken out. We got somebody dropping down over here, probably Death Watch. Death Watch dropping down over here is pretty bit of a mistake. I don't think he knew these units were dead. Death Watch is just going to die to these Lootas pretty quickly here. Doctor Chapel going down. Eco's going to go down. Death Watch just escaped. This Machine Cult and Predator are going to have to run away here as well from these tank busters. Mad Dread's going to go heal. Gorgut's going to go heal. We do have a big mech shop, and we do have a big track being built there as well. I do have the Smoke Shells ability, and what that does is it offers cloaking and AoE, but also reduces damage taken in that AoE. So you can launch it on top of your army, and it just makes them take less damage. And if they get low on health, you start running away, they'll just cloak, and you'll be able to get a little more distance. It's pretty powerful. It's kind of such a late game ability. You don't see it very often. A lot of people prefer the early game stuff. But as I kind of demonstrated, I'm okay with taking a Gorgutz, even if I don't use them most of the time. If this game went on for another 10 minutes, I would have that Gorgutz, no problem, especially with this elite point generator. And this game could go on for 10 minutes. Like this I'm winning this one, but there are totally games that go on for 30, 40 minutes. And in that situation, having that Gorgutz is so much more powerful than just trying to win in the first 20 minutes. I find getting into later elites is really powerful. So you can see these units just healing at the base. Big track smoke shells are out. We got a WOG going up down here. So we're going to start seeing a ton of tank busters coming out just to try and counter any Death Storms or, you know, obviously turrets and machine cults and vehicles. So we do got just one Predator, I think. Skynet's in a bad position here. He's got a Dreadnought and drop pod. Gabriel's ready to defend. So he's got all his elites, and he's got a Predator and a Dreadnought, but I think that's too little too late. And just using this WOG just to continue the movement bonus. These units are just going to be so fast. We're going to activate walk down here once the units get down there. And it also lasts for a really long duration with the Mad Dredd. I can't emphasize that enough. It's at least a minute, if not longer. I'm not sure what the exact bonus is. I might actually look that up later, so I know in the future. But I think it's like 45 seconds with longer walk. The default was 30. I don't know. They tweaked it a few months back, so I have to check the numbers again. But basically, this army is going to move in there and just blow all this shit up pretty effectively. And this guy is going to use his smoke shells and kind of support with longer distance. The big track and long shoot him far mode or whatever is way stronger. You can see the Mad Dredd just jumps in there and see how much damage he's doing to those Terminators. If you hit a vehicle with that, it also stuns them and stops them from shooting. I just happened to miss that. The spinning claw coming in, getting knocked out by Gabriel. You can see Mad Dredd hitting the Predator in the butt, just kills it 2 hits. And just keeping these guys, keeping the last kind of damage low as much as possible, keeping them tied up in melee. And this army here is just going to move in. Get that smoke cover there. That's reducing the damage these guys are taking. So they're actually taking very little damage. Terminator is getting wiped out. Power Core getting hit a little bit. Mad Dredd killing these last cannons. It's mostly just death watching Gabriel at this point. This game's pretty much over at this point, but mainly just watching the Mad Dredd just wreck face here. Log is still active here the entire fight, and doing tons of damage from this Mad Dredd. This big track is also somewhere. I'm not sure where it is anymore. Let's see if I can find it. It's back here. Okay, yeah, Mad Dredd's back here. Or Big Track's back here, and Skynet just surrendered there as well as the power core gets finished. So, yeah, hopefully you can see how powerful that Mad Dredd, early Mad Dredd kind of build is, and Gorgutz against Tac Spam. So Tac Spam is actually pretty weak against Orcs with Gorgutz and Lootas. So I expect the meta to shift away from that kind of play style, or for people to invest more in, say, Flamers or other things that are a bit more dangerous for Gorgutz and Lootas. Flamers are pretty deadly against Lootas because you can just walk up to them and roasty toast them. But yeah, thanks for watching. See you next time.